Hi friends, Alex Kais here, and this is a home in Seattle. I always tell people that winter is probably the best time of year to buy a house. I mean, just look at the weather. It's raining, it's cold, it's dark out. Most people don't want to be out house hunting. And if you have a choice, it's much better to sell your house when the flowers and the sun are out. So if you have the flexibility to buy something in November, December, or even January, there's a decent chance that you can find a deal. And by deal, I don't necessarily mean getting a house for $100,000 under list price, but cross your fingers, you can be the only offer and you can get it for list price. So let's look at some data, dive into how things are moving and shaking in Seattle real estate, and see if we can guess how this winter is shaping up to be. It's been a pretty busy week at our house. I've been working the past month to try and clear my schedule, get a few pending homes closed, do some last-minute house hunting with a few different people, all because this little creature has joined our family just a few days ago. But there's a lot going on in the world of real estate, and I wanted to make sure I got this video made, even though the house is a bit of a mess and baby's pretty much taken over. Median sales price in the greater Seattle area is holding steady at $1 million for a single-family standalone home. If you throw in townhouses, it's more like $830,000. What's really crazy though is that since January, the cost to buy a house has gone up by about $150,000. It actually happened in only about 2 months, and then it's fluctuated around $1 million ever since. So if you're even thinking about buying a house soon, I would do it before February in case we have another insane spring market and that all happens again. I'm leaving the house by myself for probably the first time in order to show you a house that I think is emblematic of our current housing market. Bye-bye, baby. Oh, it's harder than I thought it would be to leave her. If you're liking these videos, I'd really appreciate it if you just take a second to go down below and subscribe for more Seattle shenanigans. We're in Ballard right now, and this house has been on the market for about 2 weeks. It didn't sell on offer review date, and it's kind of the perfect example of what we were just talking about in finding a deal. Let me show you around, and then we'll talk more about it. So this is an old house. It's about 1,000 square feet. Here's the front room, the living room with the front door. And you can see that right now on the market, there's kind of a mix of storybook homes and a little bit quirky. You know, the ones with a perfect setting, kind of a perfect condition, plenty of space, and they go for 40% over list price. And the quirky ones, like this, sit on the market for a little while because they're not quite perfect. I wouldn't even call this one that quirky. It's 1,000 square feet. 2 bedrooms, it's listed at $750. Maybe it's because it's just off of a busy road and there's a few projects to be done. But let me know in the comments if it's something that you think you'd buy. So there's 2 bedrooms and not a ton of space, but I really like this. It's a cute little house in a nice neighborhood, and it's a decent deal. We can often see the winter months closing the gap in supply and demand. If this happens, we know that inventory is leveling out and demand is dropping, making houses sit on the market for a little bit longer. Last month, we saw this gap widen just a little bit as listings dropped and demand stayed about the same. We'll see how things progress into November, but I'd expect demand to start following listings' downward trajectory and time on market to increase. I've been working slowly but surely on my downstairs basement studio, so let me show you around. So I've been working for a couple months now on my basement renovation project. You can see some of the trash from some of the work right here, but I've made some decent progress. So we have just a nice little studio space now with new floors, new recessed lighting in the ceiling. I still need to plug up the holes from the old lights. I've also started installing some cabinetry. This is all IKEA cabinetry. There's gonna be a space here for a little bit of a desk. And then I have a whole bunch of drawers for camera equipment, backpacks, office supplies. And then we have a little couch here that we can have guests over on. This pulls out to a bed. And I have a little set here. I really like this diagram of American houses. I have some dinosaurs and then a townhouse that I found for free off of Facebook. This back room I've opened up. There used to be a little tiny door here and I got rid of half of the wall. And now it's a nice black backdrop, which helps for sound and light, and just a little office space. Probably gonna put a bigger table here. There's still quite a bit of work to do. I also have to refinish the fireplace, and we're probably gonna convert it to gas. Here's my basement. If you're thinking of selling your house right now, the news would make you believe that all you have to do is put up a sign and you'll get $100,000 over asking. But you can see, like that Ballard house that we were just at, that not everything sells instantly, which means there's opportunities to be had if you're out house hunting, and there's some work to be done if you're preparing to sell. Did you know that the average person moves every 7 years? So if you're a homeowner, there's a pretty good chance that you're going to have to sell your house at some point. But there's a lot of things to do before putting up a sign. When helping people prepare their house for market, I help them identify stumbling blocks for potential buyers, and then provide funds to fix these. For example, if you're sitting on an unfinished basement and it's going to cost $25K for a contractor to come in and fix it up, I know a guy and I have access to free money to get it done. Paid back at closing, of course. That $25K could then help sell the house faster, and the shorter it's on the market, the more you're going to get for it. So it's kind of an essential investment, especially if things start slowing down for the holidays. Then of course there's the staging, the marketing, figuring out where you're going to live while there's open houses going on. So when people wonder why there's not enough inventory out there, it's because it can take about 2 to 6 months to get a house to that storybook level and ready to sell. And some people just don't want to deal with that. Speaking of inventory, months of inventory is a great metric to be watching to determine the speed of the local real estate market. Seattle's single-family and townhouse market is still hovering around that 15 days of inventory mark, meaning that if there were no new listings introduced, it would take about 15 days to sell out of everything that's available right now. That's it for this month's housing market update. Thanks for watching, and if you're thinking about making a home in Seattle, send me a message. Now, I'm going to go to sleep.